The men's 400 metres, a high-quality event these days in Great Britain. We have that excellent relay team, of course, of Phil Brown, Chris Akabusi, Todd Bennett and Gary Cook, who you remember won the Olympic Games silver medal in Los Angeles in a European record. And I know, Adrian Metcalf, with your own feeling for this event, this is the one you're really looking forward to.
It's very exciting, isn't it? It's a pity Gary Cook couldn't be here. Kathy's running well, but poor Gary has got problems with his Achilles tendon. But Phil Brown there must start as the favourite. Phil was such a superlative anchor leg runner on the 4x400 metre relay, but individually never seems to quite make the same kind of attack. But he's confident. His first race out the other day at Birchfield on a nice still evening, he ran 46.1. which is a marvellous start to the season. So he's nervous, but he's confident today.
He certainly is, but he knows, as he told Jim Rosenthal a little earlier, just how keen the competition today is going to be.
Phil, you're the man they're all going to be chasing. How do you view the young hopefuls, as it were, in your event?
Well, I view them with an awful lot of respect because I'm the sort of man to sort of race today. Chris Akabusi isn't here and Todd Bennett isn't here, the other members of the relay team. So I'm the one who's sort of done it all, as they say. So Roger Black and Dave Redmond, the two youngsters, would be the men to sort of watch.
Of course, the relay team won that silver that we all remember in Los Angeles. How great a threat do you feel these young lads pose?
Well, the three of us, myself, Todd and Chris, have run together now for quite a few years, and there always looks that there's a fourth spot to sort of open to everybody. So it's not just a matter of just sort of winning, it's also trying to get a spot in that relay team.
Okay, we'll be watching you very closely. All the best.
Thank you very much.
Well, the field then that Phil was talking about, there it is. In lane 1, Steve Hurd from Wolverhampton and Bilston, who was third in the UK Championships 2 years ago. Then the very promising 19-year-old Roger Black from Southampton, who made such an impressive start to his international career indoors this winter. Perhaps the even more talented Derek Redmond just outside him, another 19-year-old from Birchfield Harriers. And 3 Birchfield Harriers in a row, because there's the next to him, what one might call the old man of the event, Ainsley Bennett, now 30 years of age, who won a bronze medal in the World Championships relay. And outside him then the favourite, and wearing number 7, will be Phil Brown, now aged 23 and the fastest in the field at 45.45, his personal best. In lane 6 is 26 Brian Whittle from Ayr Seaforth, second in last year's Scottish Championships. Then Steve Thomas from Cheltenham, and on the side Steve Garrett, another promising youngster, English schools champion 2 years ago from Bexley and Loughborough. But the man that we're all looking for in lane 5, the favourite, Phil Brown.
Yes, Phil Brown will be the man expected to lift this title. It's the second time if he does so. He was a United Kingdom champion back in '82, his only major 400 metres title. You can see just how windy a day it is. Even from our position, conditions are pretty unpleasant, and I would think, in view of the wind, the championship best set back in 1980 by David Jenkins is likely to be untroubled today. 45.29 seconds. And incidentally, in that race, that's Ainsley Bennett, who will remember those days, the days of David Jenkins and co. I have to confess, so do we. But David Jenkins, when he won that race in 1980, was a full 7 places ahead of a certain Sebastian Coe, who trailed in 8th and last. So it just shows you how the youngsters who come to the fore, or perhaps for the first time in these championships, can go on to produce great things. Derek Redmond in lane 3 has got a bit of a problem with his blocks. That's the cause of the delay here at the start.
It actually set them up on the wrong line. He was going to be giving himself an extra foot to run. So there's Derek had set them up on a relay change mark, and there are so many marks on this track. But 19 years old, a little inexperienced perhaps. This is a track marked out for international events. Derek is a great talent there in lane 3, very tall, beautiful action, but it's just a question of whether he can hold Phil Brown over the last 40.
So it's Hurd rather, on the inside. Black, Redmond, Bennett, Brown, Whittle, Thomas and Garrett. 8 men for the 400 metres title, champion of the United Kingdom. Good clean start. Phil Brown in the centre lane. We know from his relay experience that he's a man who likes to come through late, and he's already finding Ainsley Bennett coming up to his shoulder on the inside. Redmond's looking good. Roger Black in lane 2, well placed too at this stage, and Brown may respond to the sight of Bennett and also to Redmond now coming up in his inside. It's going to be just as close a race as we felt this. A terrific race in prospect. 3-4 men in proposition for those first 3 places at this stage. Bennett looking good. So too is young Redmond on the inside, but Brown now will surely come into his own. But it's Redmond who leads him into the home straight. Brown challenging strongly though. Roger Black on the inside, finishing well too. Ainsley Bennett's tying up, but it's going to be Phil Brown who wins it. Brown takes it, Redmond second, and I think it was Stephen Hurd who came through on the inside to challenge. But really, what a fine performance, and what a time too. There I was saying that David Jenkins' record would not be troubled today, but 45.27 is the time unofficially, and that's certainly 0.2 of a second inside Jenkins' best, and indeed it takes him up to something like second or third, I think, Adrian, on the all-time list for Great Britain.
Just wonderful, absolutely wonderful. No wonder he's grinning. He went slowly as usual, Phil Brown, up the back straight, and Redmond had gone off pretty fast through 300 metres, and Redmond in lane 3 was beginning to tie up badly. Ainsley Bennett had now gone. Watch Stephen Hurd on the inside, who runs a magnificent last 50, but Phil Brown here was just bouncing on top of the track. He looks fit, he looks compact. Look how his legs are flicking up. They're relaxed and there's plenty of power, and he almost seemed to be turning off the juice here over the last 20, and he does this wonderful time. 46.1 his first race out, 45.27 his second race out, and that puts him very near the top of the world outdoor rankings. Watch him here in lane 5, nice and relaxed, beautifully balanced, running exactly the way he has. The first time I've ever seen him run an individual race the way he runs the relay, and that's a very important psychological breakthrough for him. Of course, he's seen Todd Bennett get the world indoor record this season, and he must be wondering what Todd's going to do when he comes outdoors, but this is terrific. I'm sure he's grinning all over his face as he talks now to Jim.
I'll tell you what, nobody enjoyed that replay more than you, Phil. Now, Adrian Metcalf saying there, the first time he's seen you run an individual race in the style that you've run a relay. Fair comment?
Yes. Very pleasing. All thanks to my coach, Tony Hadley, and to Ainsley and Derek and Steve Thomas that I train with. This winter has gone very well. The work that we've done seems to be paying off now. Very pleased.
I'm sure you'll like to see this again from the 200-metre mark. Yes. And you say you've been working really hard. Now, you just tell us how you feel all that work is paying off here.
Well, the first 200 is because it's the beginning of the season. I'm lacking on a little bit of speed anyway. But Ainsley pulled me through the first 200, and then just as a relay, last 130 opened up and went away.
I'm looking tremendously comfortable here, coming down the finishing straight.
Yes, the urge to want to win sort of came out, and
one or two of those up-and-coming youngsters that we said earlier on, you keen to put them in their place, as it were?
No, Derek and I train together, best of friends, best of mates. It's really good because I think he's got a personal best himself from that.
Okay, if you can take a deep breath and just think for us clearly for a moment, how significant do you feel in your career will this race be?
Well, I haven't run this quick since 1982 European Championships final, and my coach and I have been sort of keeping faith with each other to let everything go well. And 45.27, like tonight, it was sort of sinking. Very pleasing.
That's a good, breathless interview. Thanks for joining us again so fast.
Thank you.
Marvellous performance then by Phil Brown, and after running 400 metres in 45.27 seconds, he still had the breath left to do a very lucid commentary on the replay. Congratulations, a great run, and also congratulations to Derek Redmond, Peter Matthews in second place there, who also made a substantial improvement on his personal best.
Well, I've clocked him unofficially in 45.8, which is tremendous improvement, and the first time under 46 seconds. But now we can look back on some results from America.